Look what I got. Shiny, isn't it? To be fair, though, I'd actually washed this when I got home last night, and that's why it looks so pristine after having used it for several hours. But more on that in a minute. Good morning and happy Saturday, everyone. Let's get to my low, my high, my act of kindness. Actually, my low is I definitely procrastinated getting this video started. That is totally 100% on me. My high is obviously from this class. I went to cabin fever last night. More on that momentarily. And actually, you know what? Throughout cabin fever, I know for a fact I held the door several times for a bunch of people. As well as thanked all the vendors there for the delicious samples that I tried. So, for those of you who don't know, here in the 607, specifically in Corning, there is an event called Cabin Fever, where you can buy your ticket online or buy your ticket the day of. Obviously, it's cheaper to buy it online, which is what I did. For reference, I paid $30 for my ticket. After February 6th, it would have been $35 for a ticket, and if you got your ticket the day of, it was $40. So easily the better deal. Obviously, the sooner you buy your ticket, the better. And honestly, it really started off as like a way for people to get out and about. Because listen, it's late. We are officially in late February now. And we still have a ways to go before we can say that winter's finally over. So, with that said, even though there have been a lot of really great things going on throughout like the course of the winter, like, you know, the après ski party went to an illegal, or Claudia Hoyser performing in jams, or shoot, what else did I do that's actually, or, you know, getting through Valentine's Day. You know, those are all great, but it doesn't really change the fact that it's still cold outside. People have less of an intent to go out and do anything. And I mean, unless you actually do anything, winter just feels boring. I mean, granted, there have been people I have been seeing out and about who, you know, have been trying to make the most of what's going on. Again, say, for example, Claudia Hoyser performing at jams. Like, the weather that entire week, and that night including, was freezing cold. And there was still a bunch of people who went out to see it. Thankfully, the weather last night was loads better, to the point where, I mean, I thought I was going to have to wear a layer of long underwear underneath my outfit. Didn't need to. It was actually pretty nice at night to do that. It was pretty great. Let's see. So, I should probably get into what cabin fever is. Basically, cabin fever is an event that takes place in Corning, where all throughout spots on Market Street and a couple places on Bridge Street, there will be tastings from all sorts of vendors. You know, breweries, distilleries, wineries, and this little sampling glass they give you is for each and every place you go to. Now, some places are actually quite accommodable because, did I say that word right? Some places are accommodating. That's the word I'm thinking of. Maybe I'm still suffering the effects from last night. I don't know. Anyway, some places are rather accommodating, and not only do they have something for you to try drink-wise, but they'll have like a rinsing water. They'll rinse out your glass, and so you get something else later. Some places will even have food. I mean, nothing great like crackers, cheese. Some places had pepperoni too, but I couldn't have that because, again, I couldn't have meat on a Friday during Lent. One vendor actually had, because one place took place, one of the vendors was at the Finger Lakes Unique. Actually, there were 3 vendors at Finger Lakes Unique. One of them was one of my all-time favorite places, Point the Bluff. Actually, no kidding, Point the Bluff and Bully Hill, 2 of my very favorite places of Keuka Lake ever, were like right back to back. It was awesome. I've said this before, I'll say it again. Both Point the Bluff Vineyards and Bully Hill are the 2 best views of Keuka Lake, hands down. And I love both of their wineries. I love the wine at both of their places. So having them back to back, it was pretty great. Actually, there was another vendor there that wasn't that actually had soup. Shout out to Soupopotamus. Seriously, Soupopotamus is such a great name for a vendor. It's basically a vendor where like they give you the ingredients in a bag to make like your soup. All you gotta do is add like boiling water to it. It's really cool. And they actually had a white bean soup that they were giving away free samples of. I couldn't have it though, because there was no meat in it, but it was made with bone broth. I don't know if that qualifies, but I didn't want to risk it. So, again, shout out to Soupopotamus. Let's see. What else was I got? Right. So, just on the off chance there were some places that didn't have food, and there were quite a few. Listen, this is my 4th year of doing this, so at this point, I know what I'm doing. The other day, I went to Sam's Club and got like a big bag of veggie straws so I would have food on the go. Because even though I was constantly like munching on these veggie straws throughout my time doing this, not gonna lie, I could still feel it. I could legit still feel the effects of the alcohol wearing on. I mean, again, this isn't just like one type of alcohol. This is like breweries, for beer, wineries. There's a cidery even, distilleries. Like, these are all various types of alcohol, each with their own alcohol content and ABV. And even though I'm only having like, whatever they put in this sampling glass, there was 23 places altogether. That adds up pretty fast. Actually, a couple places they didn't even need to fill the glass, because a couple of places that gave whiskey out or bourbon, they had like really tiny medicine cups or whatever those things are. So just basically a very tiny shot of that. And okay, that was an ambulance that just drove by. I was like, man, evidently the police are upset that I'm talking about cabin fever. But no, I want to make one thing abundantly clear. I was being very responsible last night, for sure. So Market Street was broken into 4 separate blocks with, you're able to register on Carrie's Brew House that's on Bridge Street, or I like to start at the Rassin, because I can just park at the Rassin, and after I'm done, I can, walk back, take some time to, get rid of some of my buzz by walking back, and I could just simply head on over to Bridge Street to do the last 2 places. which were Carrie's Brew House and the Brick. That was the fire department now. Wow. Something big must be going down in Elmira today. We'll see. Right, so what was I saying? Right, I was getting into where everything largely was. So I pretty much went to every place. Well, I went to all 23 possible places you could go to. So there was 21 places on Market Street and 2 places on Bridge Street. And the very first place on Market Street was the Rassin, which is where I started. They actually had Iron Flamingo Brewing as the vendor that was there. Which struck me as rather odd because Iron Flamingo actually does have a location on Market Street itself. I mean, don't know why that happened, but it did. So that happened. Actually, no kidding. I also went to Burgers and Brewing. That was another place that had a vendor, which which I used to do, which I actually talked about Burgers and Beer like several times, and they closed their Hammondsport location, making the one on Market Street the only location that's available. I was shocked. I mean, I did kind of notice that when I was in Hammondsport last summer, that door always did seem to be locked, but I don't know, I thought maybe they were doing reservations, but no, that place is closed. And that place is actually pretty good. I mean, obviously with the location Corning still existing, I mean, most likely it's probably the exact same menu. In fact, just from looking from afar, I could tell it was the same menu. So if nothing else, I'm glad Burgers and Beer has a location. Again, that's great. Vertex Hot Glass Studio, that was another place I went to. I actually love Vertex Hot Glass Studio, especially on Sparkle because they make a wassail, which is really, it's not legit wassail, it's really like hot spiced cider. Obviously not alcoholic, so kids can have it, but it was really good. And Market Street ends at Oaks, which had a Hazlitt Vineyards, which, okay, I took a picture of like everywhere I went to, and as well as taking a picture of all the vendors that I saw, you know, because I plan on posting them on social media later. I get to, I finished the Brick and looked through all the other photos I did, and the one for Hazlitt, which again was at Oaks, was blurred out, so I had to rush back to Oaks and get a better picture of it. It shouldn't really take that long. And all throughout the evening, you know, I remembered to be responsible. I remembered to be careful of where I was. Also, another place I really got to mention. Card-carrying books and calligraphy that had a Heron Hill, which is, Heron Hill was where my brother and my sister-in-law had their wedding reception. Their wine was phenomenal. And I love walking into card-carrying books and calligraphy because they have a store kitty. I got to pet the store kitty. I love kitties. And the kitty's name is Page Turner. This is a book place. So, Page Turner. That's actually that's a very sophisticated name for a cat, come to think of it. I know, I'm able to remember all this considering how much I sampled, quote unquote. No, I was responsible, don't worry. Let's see. What else did I enjoy? That was, Big Ink. They have that unicorn winery place. Oh, that place is good too. Man, like every vendor that was there was like good. And every place like Commerce Mercantile and Pure Design, they had places like Big Tree and Crooked Tusker. Oh, I saw Crooked Tusker. That's a place I need to go in person to. Oh, actually, Fox Run. I believe that one was at Burgers and Beer. Maybe. But yeah, I mean, for sure, a lot of my favorite vendors were there. You know, I mentioned Bully Hill. I mentioned Point of the Bluff. I mentioned Fox Run Vineyards. It was all legit. It was all very good. And honestly, like, if winter has been, like, here's the thing. I wouldn't say it's been that way for me, but I can definitely tell for a lot of people this winter has been pretty tiresome. Like, we're all just stuck in a rut. You know, doing the same routine, you know, every day for however long until the weather starts getting warmer again. Then we're able to go outside and do more. And on the whole, there's nothing wrong with being in a rut. But doing this was absolutely necessary. Because, you know, at least if you're, I mean, I should probably say, if you're in a rut, if nothing else, you know what you're going to do. And, you know, it's safe. It's simple, it's safe, and, you know, it's no muss, no fuss. But going to events like Cabin Fever are what's going to make 2026 great. And this was great. I mean, that's why I have it on my 2020, that's why I have it on my bucket list every year. I mean, I was already going to go whether or not I had a bucket list at all, but I'm glad I have this on my 2026 bucket list because come December 31st, I'm going to go through everything I did, and I'll definitely remember that I did this. I hope y'all like this video. If you like this, subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow on social media. As always, I'm here helping this video for all you guys watching your video. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Saturday. Remember, if you guys want to talk, change, you're here to let me know what's back. Take care and make good choices. 607 all day, baby.